I want to wait to buy until next year. Or I want to wait to sell my house until next year. I know that if you're in this real estate game, you've heard those before, and you've probably heard a lot of other objections. Sometimes we hear these objections when we're prospecting in our database, maybe doing some phone calling or texting. And sometimes we can hear some of these challenges when we're face to face with people. I'm Jose Mejia, and I want to give you guys a few strategies to make you think about how to overcome these objections. And sometimes our natural psyche is to really move on to the next thing and not assure the person that we're communicating with that we were actually listening to them. Let's go over one example. Oftentimes, I'm texting some old leads that came onto our website a year ago, year and a half ago. And it's basically a message that goes out to say, hey, there's a lot going on in the world right now, quote unquote, COVID. But we just wanted to check in to see if you were still interested in looking for a house. Of course, a lot of times I get people saying stop or not at the moment. And there's just some folks that might say, I'm actually waiting until next year before I start actually moving into that process of buying a house. Now, our natural instinct, depending who we are, is to just stop and respect that person's timeline, right? But in reality, you need to dig in a little deeper, right? You need to dig in deeper to figure out why is it that this person is waiting until next year. And the reason why you want to dig in deeper is not to really interrogate them. It's not to get into their space. You're digging in deeper so that you can have a connection in the relationship with this person, whether you're successful in getting that appointment right away or whether you get that appointment next year. So a person comes to you and they say, I'm looking to make moves next year. And the response would be, awesome. So you want to make a move next year. Now, I'm going to stop for a second. And I want to emphasize why it's important to start with that specific sentence. The very first thing I responded with was awesome or great. Man, that's awesome. And if you're writing a text message, I might even want to throw a little emoji. Don't overkill it with the emojis, by the way. You drop an emoji, you compliment them, say awesome. And then you repeat what they said. And the reason why we're repeating what they're saying is to let them know that we were listening to them. We heard what they were saying. And so they've challenged you by telling you, not now, next year. So in turn, you have to be polite and respectfully challenge them by digging in deeper, because you're going for the relationship. So it would look like this. Awesome. So you want to make a move next year in February, you said. Okay. Now, if the ideal house came on the market that was perfect, would you consider looking at it? And now you're digging in deeper and you're saying, hey, what's the motivation of you waiting until next year? Maybe the person's going to say to you, yeah, I'd take a look at it. Great. So now you know that they have the motivation to want to make decisions now if the right situation came along. But in reality, what's going to happen beyond that is that they're going to reveal to you why they told you next year. They might tell you they're having credit problems and maybe they're working with a credit repair company and they're expecting to be ready for next year. Or maybe they're tied into a lease and their lease expires. So they're thinking in their heads, I shouldn't do anything at this moment because I'm still in a lease. And I want to start the process maybe 2 to 3 months out before I have to leave my place. And you and I know that's not the right way to do it. So when they reveal this information to you, these reasons that may come up, I want you to know some personalities will proactively tell you this information. In some cases, you may have to continue digging deeper and asking the right questions. So if somebody said to you, hey, yeah, I would take a look at the house. Okay, great. So can you share with me a little bit more? Or you can say, can you tell me more about the significance of February of next year for you? You see, you're getting to that situation of listening more and talking less and really extracting that information so that you can problem solve their circumstance. Sound good? I hope this was helpful for somebody. If you guys have any questions, send me a message. Don't be shy. Talk soon.